Hey guys, Horror Howdy here. Today I'll be discussing every film I've watched this month. I'd like to note that this will be containing spoilers, so if a film you plan on seeing comes up, simply use the timestamps provided to skip to the next film in the lineup. I will also be including all content warnings included in the film written on screen, so don't make a film sound great for you to go out and watch it and only find some upsetting content included. Minions, Rise of Gru, 3.5 stars. I love these villains. Their punny names are brilliant. I love Bell Bottom the most. The opening credits scene is amazing, especially with the cover of My Baby Shot Me Down. It was cute how Gru had action figures of his favorite villains. I love the grandson/grandfather relationship that developed between Gru and his idol. I love the Lunar New Year's scene, so beautiful. I also love the transformation scene. They all turned into animals significant to the culture. The clock torture is innovative, but it wouldn't have been all that effective. First, an arm would be ripped off, then after a while a leg. In order to achieve more of a split down the middle effect, they should have tied his legs at the knees instead of the ankles. Honestly, this was much better than I was anticipating. Baby Gru is not endearing, especially with that yee-yee ass haircut. Fart humor and many other types of immaturity is included, unfortunately. It's okay for characters to die, quit teaching children otherwise. La La Land, 2.5 stars. This had a really good mix of both original music and covers. The dance routines were probably my favorite part of this. This has especially stunning visuals at times. I like that the couple ended up apart in the end. Not every story can have a happy ending. I don't like a single thing about this man. He is not my dream man, he's my nightmare man. He's ugly, leaves a bad first impression, is an asshole, rude, lives in an apartment full of unpacked boxes, and more, I'm sure. This does contain cheating. Breaking up with someone to be with someone else is shitty. This film felt like an updated version of Fantasia at parts. I hate these characters! The Darkness, 1 star. This has a cool wolf. The ending was the best part of this. Trying to kill a pet cat, really? They don't even address it, instead simply denying it and moving on. Are they trying to raise a psychopath or something? Cheating is included, lame. Do not forgive someone for doing it and continue to stay with them. This film is very simple and repetitive. Son gets hated on and ostracized from his family. Something happens to the daughter over and over again. This is the definition of a mediocre film. Little Evil, 1 star. Damn, Gabriel is into some kinky shit. Enemy a freak who whips himself in his spare time. I like the trope of using a puppet to express yourself. This has an amazing premise of being the parents of the Antichrist. However, they did not execute it well at all. It's never the child's fault. Honestly, sometimes it is though. I think people forget that children are also people, human beings. I didn't enjoy the verbal berating of the husband, especially in front of the guests. Velvet Buzzsaw, 1.5 stars. Jake Gyllenhaal, Daveed Diggs, sign me up. Plus the director, Dan Gilroy, directed the perfect film that is Nightcrawler. It looks like we're getting a bit of a Tim Burton/Johnny Depp situation here, not that I'm complaining. I love the clip of that cute kitty staring down at the koi pond. Thank you for the ass shots of Jake. I really liked the part where the woman put her arm into the exhibit and it chopped her arm off. It was predictable because I have played the cat lady, but it's still good. I just know half the audience was bored 15 minutes in. Admittedly, an art gallery isn't the most interesting setting. The weakest element here is 100% the lack of horror. I know horror and comedy are the hardest genres to blend. It just felt like they were barely trying when it came to the horror. There's a part where a character gets a small jump scare. There had been no horror up until this point, and the film was halfway over. There had been no building tension, so adding a jump scare at that moment was laughable. What is with that cheesy music? You are at a funeral. It's inappropriate to judge things like design choice while attending. It's a somber event. Goddamn, this woman moves on fast. As soon as she's done with a relationship, the same day she sleeps with someone new. Jake Gyllenhaal's scared reactions are so bad. I can't give this film a passing score because it didn't accomplish what it was trying to do. Kisses! Arctic, 5 stars. Mads Mikkelsen, yes. Someone renew NBC's Hannibal for a 4th season now. It's my favorite TV show. And this has a cute polar bear. It was smart of him to write that there's 2 people alive in the helicopter wreckage in Sharpie in case someone stumbles upon it so that they can find them. I probably wouldn't have thought to do that until watching this film, so I'm glad it taught me something new. It was a nice touch to add the evidence of a previous survivor long lost in the area close by to give the protagonist a feeling of hopelessness, showcasing his drive to never give up despite any circumstances. I love that even though his companion set him back, he never gave up on her. I was happy with the ending. As a side note, you really can't pop this on in the background. This has very few words. It's almost entirely a visual experience. Enough. 1 star. This film really reinforced my misandrous viewpoints. Jennifer Lopez, though. I liked the bait and switch in the beginning. It was smart of the guy to ask the feds for a search warrant. I liked that the protagonist underwent training. It was so smart of her to gouge out the eyes when her abuser caught her. It's the smartest thing to do in that situation, although gross. Thanks for giving me away. Daughters are not property of their fathers. I don't have a dad, but even if I did, I wouldn't want him to walk me down the aisle. It's one of the most insane traditions people keep doing to this day. This was very uncomfortable to watch. Someone needs to explain to this kid that her father is a physical abuser and cheater. How do you even cheat on Jennifer Lopez? Kids need to understand the separation. I would have enjoyed this so much more if the parts in between the first instance of abuse and the protagonist getting revenge were taken out. The Pale Blue Eye, 1 star. I liked the romance here. I need me a freak like Poe who'd be willing to do anything for me, too. As a goth bitch, I felt obligated to watch this even though it looked incredibly boring. It was, for the most part. So much of this could have been cut out. This does contain a very upsetting scene of sexual assault. I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House, 1.5 stars. I like that she chooses to wear all white. Hospice nurses are angels of death after all. I really like the script, it feels so poetic. But it was slow and boring as fuck. It was insanely hard to keep my attention. If you're struggling to go to sleep, put this on. It will probably knock you out within 20 minutes. The thing that would have benefited this film best would be better pacing. I know there's a good story hidden in here, but as it stands, I had to Google the ending immediately after watching it. One of the worst things a film can do is fail to captivate its audience's attention. That is the bare minimum. Next up, I watched every one of the Rocky films in preparation of Creed 3 coming out in early March. I will be making an entire video dedicated to it when it comes out, so be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I release it. Lyle Lyle Crocodile, 0.5 stars. This has good editing in the opening. Okay, I will admit it was pretty sweet when the kid made his first friend. I'm glad the mom grabs her kid when she saw him with Lyle to save him. Lyle holding his tail to comfort himself was cute. Shawn Mendes was not needed here. The auto-tune. I thought it was unprofessional that the realtor only shook the father's hand. The son was annoying the fuck out of me. I'm glad I didn't go see this in theaters. This contains 4. The dumpster diving and making the boy eat from the trash, also spilling garbage all over him. I did not want to see that ugly ass cat releasing its fluids. Imagine being selectively mute, but the only time you speak is when you sing. Why did they think it was a good idea to bring this crocodile in public? Better yet, why is everyone okay with it? They threw his ass in the zoo. They see a crocodile standing on its hind legs and think nothing of it? This kid sings awfully. This was nonsensical for the majority of its runtime. Strange Voices, 3 stars. I'm glad this film brought awareness to mental health issues, especially in the 80s. Even in the 2020s, some people don't believe mental health disorders exist. I'm sure this did a lot of good. When I was a child struggling with my mental illnesses, I thought, is this curable? Will it be this way forever? Sadly, mental illness is permanent, but at least it can be treated with behavior therapy. It does get better. To clarify, I'm not diagnosed with schizophrenia like the protagonist of this film, just other mental illnesses. The mom drank champagne at her baby shower. If you can't put down the bottle for 9 months, please don't have a child. Wow, this husband is horrible. If you're this affected by your daughter's schizophrenia diagnosis, imagine how she feels. She just does it to get attention. Ugh, shut up. No one wants to be mentally ill. I'll take mine away in a second if possible. It makes our lives much harder. The Happy Time Murders, 3.5 stars. Oh my god, this had me laughing so quickly and so hard. I love the classic serial killer glued on magazine lettering cutouts. Sexy puppet included. I love the sex shop. When it comes to dolls and puppets, I can go either way on if they contain stuffing or entrails. Here I think it was a smart choice to have the puppets contain stuffing to further contrast them and the humans, as puppets clearly face a lot of discrimination in this world. This shocked me in a good way. I really enjoy the casting here. Saul Goodman puppet. How did the shop owner manage to pull a gun on his attacker and still be the one to get murdered? Not even one shot when the attacker's back was turned? Not all jokes were funny, but admittedly, that's a tall order for a script littered with them. I'm not a fan of raunchy, immature humor, and this takes up a good third of the film. I also didn't enjoy the sexism. The sex jokes especially got really overplayed. They did too much with it and it went on for too long. This does have a tired plot that you've seen before, just this time with a puppet and human society twist. It didn't make sense that the secretary was asking her boss on a date for drinks, and then completely being fine with him having sex with someone else in his office and acting like it was a normal occurrence. Damn, this society solves racism amongst humans, but not sexism. This contains incest and inbreeding. This does have some inconsistencies. Earlier in the film, it's established dead puppets have a stench like human corpses would. However, when it comes to the cousins, the detective didn't realize they were dead until he pulls the cover back, revealing their dismemberment. This started off really good, but slowly got worse as it went on. Jennifer's Body, 3.5 stars. Oh, to be jealous of your best friend's boyfriend. I loved Eugene. Hope you're still doing well. I'm glad I'm not in high school anymore. This was my first time officially viewing this film, but if you were on Tumblr in the mid-2010s, like me, you've definitely seen the GIFs. Megan Fox is so fine. Flip phones, heck yeah. I love that iconic heart print hoodie. Panic at the Disco is on the soundtrack, hell yeah. This is like an emo holy grail film. I Can See Your Womb. Shut up, male. Just because you don't like looking at your girlfriend's stomach doesn't mean I don't. I can and will check out your girlfriends you don't appreciate enough. This fetishizes virgins, which is gross. You saw a woman get into a bunch of men's vehicle alone and did nothing? Are you out of your mind? He was obviously forcing her to drink more too, out of a cup she didn't see poured, no less. What happened? What do you think happened? Obviously, it's no one's fault but the men, but still, try to look out for women. Oh my god, this dialogue is so bad sometimes. This does contain cheating. If you're gonna make out with your best friend, at least break up with your boyfriend first. Strange World, 3 stars. I really like that this mostly focused on a grown adult instead of a teenager for once. I'm sorry, but I'm so tired of kids. I haven't been interested in stories that lead with them since I graduated middle school. Good on the parents for teaching their child aspects of a healthy relationship by being affectionate in front of him. I will admit, Ethan and his crush are a really cute couple. I think they complement each other well. I always enjoy seeing cooking and animation. This has some really nice, vibrant colors. I didn't have high hopes for this one, but it was better than expected. It's very, 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 very okay. Wow, his dad really just abandoned him. Searcher is... I would say a name, but it isn't even a name. Did we really need a Salt Bae reference? The meme is from 2017, come on. This came out in 2022. This had weird transition slides. I really did not like that blob creature. More often than not, these goofy side characters just bring the film down. Birdman, or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance, 4 stars. As someone who was in technical theater for 4 years, oh my god, it was always a fear of mine that the lights I would set up would fall. This is a very absurd film. This accurately portrays how many whores work as actors. It's a very high ratio. I liked the inner monologue of Birdman. This had cool special effects. I feel like everyone should watch the public indecency scene. How he improvised after being locked out of the theater was brilliant. The show must go on, and he made it work. The scene of Birdman in his actor's ear was spectacular. I loved how far he went in the final performance. Is it good or bad? Well, it's an unplanned pregnancy, so bad. How did it take him that long to smell the weed? I can smell it 30 feet away and through locked doors. Yet, you had to stand in a room full for multiple minutes to get a whiff? Okay. I also dislike the hypocrisy. Fuck the boyfriend for doing what he did under the covers on stage. If you change a review because of your personal opinion on the director, you should not be a critic. The bad parts are bad, but the good parts are brilliant. The Duff, 1 star. I love a good power suit. I'm not even gonna lie, the mom is fine. This made me want to go lingerie shopping. The crush was a real one and a good human for not further ostracizing her despite her being super creepy. I'm sorry, but it's funny as fuck to say, when my parents broke up, my mom wanted custody of me and my dad wanted custody of the dog. I love the chocolate fountain. In high school, I don't think I knew any student with a full beard. Duff is an acronym for Designated Ugly Fat Friend. Literally none of the Duffs are fat, let alone mid-size. They're literally all skinny. Also, not every friend group has one, so don't get too in your head about it. If I could help it, I'd only have pretty friends. I've seen friend groups of exclusively attractive people. If you need to pretend to be nice to an ugly person in order to make yourself look better in comparison, I don't think you are attractive. I don't suggest using this method. In fact, it's way more likely that there's one person in the group that everyone else hates but continues to pretend to be friends with. Not the parking in 2 spaces. There's a Vine mention here. Why was this guy telling the protagonist to ask out a full-grown man? He looked like a 30-year-old office worker. Why was the dress a high-neck, long-sleeved mini dress? Pro tip, don't do things you wouldn't want everyone to know about. Ew, the pec flexes. Women are so disgusting. I don't understand why the protagonist didn't fight her bully. I was fully expecting her to end up with the whore neighbor, and she did. I don't usually say this, because people will say this about literally anyone with the similar skin tones and hair colors, but they straight up look like siblings. The best outcome would have been for her to stay single. The school sees the prom king cheat and they cheer him on. If I was hooking up with a girl and she stopped to write her essay, I would be kind of upset. Spanglish, 1.5 stars. Very cute dog. I love the C-Class. This had some good food porn. But why did the mother see her young daughter being sexually assaulted and do nothing? Who wrote this script? Oh my god. Especially the rich daughter. Kids don't talk like that. Why is this clearly incredibly wealthy wife getting excited over a sale? It's not like she wouldn't have been able to afford it otherwise. It makes no sense to buy clothes in a size you don't fit. Being a certain size doesn't instantly make you attractive or unattractive. Why is this idiot male screaming in the car with a woman who doesn't even understand what he's saying? I don't like Adam Sandler. He plays Bill the bitch in every goddamn movie. The sex scene. It made me imagine having sex with Adam Sandler, which I heavily dislike. And fuck cheating. The Crazies, 2 stars. I love the use of We'll Meet Again, such a creepy song. Chase scenes where they drag the knife across a wall, This has some good action scenes. Very beautiful ending shot. Moments of quiet leading to my speakers blowing out does not make a movie scary. It's just annoying and blows out my speakers. Mermaids, 1 star. The Pumpkinhead scene was hilarious. This had so much funny dialogue. The arc tree path is awesome. The mermaid outfit slayed. I love how they became a family at one point. And not teaching a 15-year-old how to drive with a young child in the back. What is this mother? Pushing her underage child to pursue a relationship with a man over a decade older than her? How pushing pedophilic agendas in film is legal is beyond me. I watched this for Winona Ryder, and I would have not otherwise. The Lolita Lana Del Rey coquette girlies being groomed by men old enough to be their father who will require years of therapy in a few years would eat this film up. Dumbass kids smoking. Don't push body images onto a very young developing girl. I want my father. Yeah, girl, we can tell. A hint would have probably been chasing after a 35-year-old when you're 15. Making out with someone after they started crying is the least appropriate response. This film infuriates me. Why did you kiss the person your daughter kissed? While you're in a steady relationship with someone? What is wrong with people? Some of y'all are whores before you're a person. I support whores, but that is way too far. Cheating makes you lower than scum in my opinion. Oh great, now the little kid is downing alcohol. I'm sure that won't give her any brain damage. I wish the humor in this film could have been saved for a better film because it's actually really good. I would have disowned the mother at so many points throughout this film. Why did she even get with him after he had a kiss with her mom? Both of their relationships should have ended after that. When you abandon your very young sister by a large body of water to lose your virginity to a much older man, just girly things. I hope the pedo dick was worth it to sacrifice your baby sister's life. Oh, all of a sudden the mom is acting all concerned about her children. You don't actually give a fuck about them. Constantly moving them all across the country. What the hell were you thinking about? She is her mother's daughter, after all. This has so many hypocritical moments. The title has nothing to do with this film. Escape Plan, 4 stars. I really liked the guard uniforms worn in the second prison. I'm not even gonna lie, they were sexy as fuck. It felt like I was watching an edit at times. If they beat me up and pulled out that electrical rod they love so much, I'm creaming. Sorry, not sorry. The twist that they were on a boat in the second prison was clever and added to the stakes. The needle scenes were incredibly disturbing. This was goofy as hell sometimes. A higher regarded prisoner breaking up a prison fight by simply saying, "Stop," is something I would expect a middle schooler to write. Bad transitions were included. Garfield, 3.5 stars. I'm just like Garfield because I'm chubby and love milk, pie, and pasta. Jennifer Love Hewitt is in this, I love her. Her outfit slayed too, she is so sexy. I love how her character is a dominant woman. Odie coming to save Garfield by being affectionate to the bully dog was so cute. I can see why the TV famous cat is so popular. Black and white cats are my favorite too. It was so cute how Odie stole the show at the dog judging competition. I love how many cute pets this features. I'll have to watch more animal-themed films. This has a surprisingly good amount of one-liners. Love the ACAB message. The part where the film makes us believe Garfield died when he fell out of the tall building and his blood splattered all over the truck. It ended up just being pasta sauce, but goddamn, that was brutal. Garfield openly making plans to hang himself in the shelter? He's just like me for real. Gross out humor is included. It's unusual how different Garfield is to all the other animals. He's very cartoony while the other pets stick with animated realism. Normal is a Siamese cat here instead of his usual gray self. I don't like how the boss treats his employees. I thought the fourth wall breaks were excessive. John doesn't lock his door after he enters and even leaves the door wide open and walking away. Never toss a pet outside as punishment. That's how they get killed. Keep them inside at all times. This has bad transitions. It wasn't nearly as bad as y'all make it out to be, especially if you look at the animation in some of the later Garfield films. They downgraded. I remember this being longer than this turned out being, but I did watch the sequel as a kid too. The film has a poor understanding of how shot colors work. This has a fuck ton of product placement. The best film I saw this month was Arctic. In terms of TV shows, I started watching Steven Universe for the first time. I dropped it in the middle of season 2 though because of consent issues, which I avoid. Personally, I see fusing as an analogy for sex to a certain extent, so I had to stop watching after Pearl forcibly fused with Garnet by tricking her into it. Garnet's reaction reminded me too much of what someone's reaction would be getting sexually assaulted, so I stopped during that scene. I might pick it up again when I'm in a stronger headspace, knowing what I'm actually getting into this time. I also finished the final season of Agretzko that just came out this month. It was a pretty meh ending. In my opinion, season 3 was the best and should have ended there. I was rooting for Retsi and Tadano instead of Haida. I'm currently watching Inuyasha and I'm on season 2. I like Inuyasha and Kikyo way more than Inuyasha and Kagami. She's literally a middle schooler. I do not support pedophilia and was shocked to find out that's what the anime promotes. What did you think of the ratings and reviews I gave the movies that you've seen? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. My goal is to watch 365 movies a year, one a day. If you want to read my full reviews, check out my Letterboxd list links. I'm also interested in your rankings, so be sure to list them, or even just your favorite and why you liked it. please leave a like and subscribe, and hit the bell for more monthly Letterboxd recaps as well as other content. If you'd like to support my content financially, please consider becoming a patron. I have tiers starting as low as $2 a month. I even have Patreon exclusive content up already. Check out my link in the description for more info on exclusive perks. Until next time, mwah.